we just defended. I think our back line cleared balls, blocked balls, headed balls out. Obviously, Hannah a big part of that. Sam, not too Tatum back there. I think they just, fully committed to it, and team defending starts from the top down. And I think just feels good to get the back-to-back shutouts and wins for sure.
Welcome to Red Stars Report, a podcast dedicated to bringing you the latest news and commentary on all things Chicago Red Stars. I am your host, LT.
I'm one of your co-hosts, Grant.
And I'm the co-host, Liz.
So the Chicago Red Stars took on the Houston Dash, a struggling club near the bottom of the table. A Mal Swanson banger from just outside the box was the difference in a 1-0 win. But it probably could have been a little bit of a wider gap without some great goalkeeping from Jane Campbell and some last ditch defending from some of the Houston Dash defenders. But Leilani Nesbitt got the assist on the goal, becoming the first Bermudian player to tally an assist in the NWSL. So that was really cool, and Mal's form has been coming together, and she's now scored in 4 straight matches.
Silent clap for Mal.
Yeah, it was fun. You both attended the game. I did not. And the crowd looked really solid on TV. Did you agree it was a solid crowd at the game?
There were, I think, just over 5,000 people at the match, which was a nice bump than the usual to like 3,500. I think there was like 5,500. I liked hearing people say that it was their first match, maybe due to the Wrigley match. I'm sure the noon kickoff, the nice weather, it being Kids Day also played a big factor in that. I hate that after the Wrigley match, there were, there was a whole month before we got another home match, and now they don't get another home regular season match until like late August. So the attendance, it was good. It was a nice crowd, very lively. Obviously leading for an entire half was also very beneficial. They played a little better than we usually see them play. So I really enjoyed being in that crowd, because they let me out of the press box. I didn't, and so I could hang out with Grant. So that was nice.
It was a nice crowd. I wish it was a bit bigger, but I get it, with public transportation being an incredible issue, and of course the game being in Bridgeview. It didn't really feel like a kids' day though, if that makes sense. Like, you would think there would be more kids there, maybe more camps or something, some sort of involvement on that end. But it was a good crowd, very lively. Solid crowd, way
Yeah,
better than what usually happens. So
I didn't think about the lack of like youth camps and stuff that were there. Like, usually you see like tons of kids wearing like the same shirts from their camps or something, and I only saw like a couple. So for a kids match, like you mentioned, that was actually really odd.
it was a weekend, so
yeah,
that's another thing. But
it felt like there were enough kids, like more than usual, to make it feel like that this was obviously marketed to kids. But yeah, I thought there would be a lot more.
it's no like Chicago Sky Camp Day where you have a bunch of screaming kids at 11 a.m. Because I've been a part of that as a grown-up attending one, and then also as a camper going and being a part of those crowds. And boy, does it get loud. But
Yeah, it does
Just
get
hopeful
loud.
for maybe like 7,000 at the game. But you know what? The 5,000 is a good number.
Yeah, I think it would have
Yeah.
been more if this were the week after the Wrigley match. I think it would have been a lot more, but the gap was significant. So hopefully a bump in attendance continues, but now we're on an international break. So I don't know how many people are going to be showing up to the Summer Cup matches.
Well, I just wonder what the 4th of July weekend too, people being out of town and traveling and all of that might have played but when Mal scored the goal, it sounded very loud on TV.
It was loud. The
So
5,000 were loud, which is good. It's not often we get to hear the crowd be that loud. I think I didn't hear it as loud as that since that last goal in the Utah match when they were playing at home. That was like that was like up in the press box, like, wow, that's a loud crowd for only like 3,800 people or whatever it was. So that was cool.
it was good stuff. I appreciate the fact that Nesbitt got the assist on Mal's goal. I think just for her, I feel like sometimes she has a rough go of it from time to time with passing and things like that. And so for her to get the assist, awesome. Our rookies have just been playing so well, I feel like across the board, meeting and exceeding expectations. So that was really exciting. So with Jamise getting it the game before and now Nesbitt getting one, just positives all around from everybody. And to beat Jane Campbell is very, very hard. So Mal put it pretty much where she couldn't touch it.
Yeah, it was, oh man, that goal was so good.
Yeah, it's Mallory. Shit. I mean, it's Mallory. She's done some stuff. You say, wow. Okay. I mean, I applaud that one again because she scores some fantastic goal, and it's, she has that mindset and she works hard at it. And since I don't believe in luck, it's not luck. It's just because she's freaking a good player.
I obviously, she was up for and won goal of the week this past week. I think she has a pretty good chance of doing that again this upcoming week. So we'll see what happens. No goal line save though this week, so that was unfortunate. But just Chicago's defense in general was just outstanding, I thought, against a pretty well organized Houston Dash squad. Like they kind of looked a little different since Fran Alonso has been out. Their assistant coach has been trying to kind of changing some things up. The entire back line won the Red Stars Report Discord Player of the Match this week. I think I think many would agree. Then I don't know if it was fair to take a player of the match away from Mal again, but skirting my own system, it happened, and here we go.
When we were talking after the match, I was like, oh, I think I'm going to do Staub or Kuika for our player of the match. And then LT was like, no, I think I'm going to vote Mal. And I was like, our back line, though. I mean, just shout out to them. Just a great display overall.
Yeah, fantastic. All just the willingness to put their body on the line and just to play as a unit. Hannah Anderson, I can't speak highly enough about Hannah Anderson. I was watching a few different plays and I just noticed the way she tracks the ball when the player's dribbling at her. She times her defensive maneuvers on players perfectly. Like, yes, she makes errors. I'm not saying she's perfect all the time, but a few moments in that game, she pounced at the ball at the exact time, took it away, and then we were down heading towards the other end of the field. And as a rookie, that's so hard to do. And to be a center back specifically and be able to have the confidence to do that, just awesome. Love it.
Yeah, I think her and Sam seem so well suited to play next to each other. You can see their connection getting stronger, them reading each other better. And I think this is kind of like a pairing that we'll obviously see going forward throughout the rest of the season. All four of the defenders, I think, are the four that we'll see throughout the regular season and playoffs. We might see some switch ups in the Summer Cup, but we'll find out.
the fact that you know the name of the cup now, that we all know the name of the cup now. I just want to bring that up really quickly because at the game, LT and I were talking about it, and then I was like, oh, they just had a promotion for the games coming up, and I was like, but what is it called again? And so he looked it up, and I was like, okay, now it's the Summer Cup, guys. We know what it is.
The NWSL Liga MX Femenil Summer Cup. And that should just be called the Summer Cup, marketed as the Summer Cup. We'll all know what it is. It was that not great that no one knows what the name of that cup is, but it's in my mind now. It's in my mind.
We know what it is.
I forgot about it, to be completely honest. And I knew we were playing games, but I forgot that it was like actually a tournament type system. And so I was like, oh, okay. And I had no idea what it was called. So they even were putting promos on the TV for it. And I was like, oh, okay. But it's too many words. Summer Cup.
It is too
great.
many. Summer Cup. That's what I'm calling it. I'm just calling it the Summer Cup. But yeah, I think we'll see some players switch out in that. So we might not see these four together for long periods of time upcoming, but Tatum Milazzo, I thought once again had a stellar defensive performance. She's really settled into playing right back after struggling the first few times that she's been on that side. I will, eat my words as I tend to do. Always being frustrated of her playing right back, but she is just stringing great performance after great performance over there. No goal line save this week, though, as I mentioned. So she was clearly lacking in some areas.
It's so critical.
I just 2 goal line saves in a row, and she couldn't make it 3. It's very disappointing.
Jeez. Well, I mean, blame Houston for not creating the opportunity.
That's a good point. That's a good point. There was a ball that was sitting right near the goal line after Alyssa collided with Sam and I think it was Ordonez. And then Sam cleared it, but that wasn't a goal line save. But that was really Houston's only as close to the goal line as you could possibly get kind of chance.
I think it's better to say at least we didn't have to have a goal line clearance. I don't know.
Just want Tatum to get the recognition that she deserves. She won a couple of them. She should have won all 4 of her goal line save of the weeks.
Alyssa took the one.
Not that I'm taking it away from Alyssa. I love Alyssa. She's my hero. We all know this, but I think it would have been cool for Tatum to get another one.
I think it would have been funny if Tatum would have won, and then she could have kind of rubbed Alyssa's face in it and been like, "Hey, I got you."
If she won, she would have had 3 in her career, and Alyssa would have had 7. Like she would have already almost been halfway to Alyssa's total, which is crazy.
That's funny.
Yeah. And then last but not least, Natalia Kuika won all 11 of her ground duels, settling into left back really nicely in this last few matches. Finally get to see her play up higher in the field, got a nice ball into Mal at one point that led to one of her shots. So that's really good to see a little connection between those two on that side of the field, even though they were on the other side of the field when the connection happened.
Yeah. I feel like Kuika's kind of gone back to being quiet in some aspects, but in a good way. I don't mean that in a bad way at all. I think that she just does her job. And that's what we want from defenders. But back to Tatum for 1 second. I was kind of critical of her at the beginning of the season, and now she looks like she's playing with so much joy. Like during the game, after the game, you see it. I feel like something like a switch was flipped of some sort, and she just looks so much. She's playing better. She looks happy, and it's just really good to see. I just wanted to get that out there. I forgot to say that.
I have not noticed that, so thank you for bringing that up. I think that's a great take, to be honest. And you guys always like pay so much close attention to the game, and I'm just here like I am watching a soccer game, and this is what's going on. I did say earlier, when we began the podcast, like, oh, Natalia Kuika, like I don't even recognize that she's on the field, whatever. I did pay close attention during this game. I was watching her a lot compared to past games. Very noticeable play because I'm actually trying to watch her specifically now. And that's why she was my player of the game. I saw the poll come up and I was like, oh, singular player. I think I was the only one that voted for her in the singular one. And then I saw the backline one and I was like, okay, this I can vibe with. So I'm glad that that option was available.
Yeah, I was talked into it. I think a lot of people were like, well, we'll vote for Mal because that's the obvious choice. She scored the goal, they won. And then I think other people were struggling to decide which defender they wanted to vote for. So there were there was a few Hannahs in there, Natalia, Sam, and I was like, yeah, I still think it's Mal, like, because there was no like one individual defender that I thought was, the player of the match. And then I was talked into saying, that the back line should be an option. So I just took what was going to be absolutely Mal's win because she was running away with it. And I just added her to another list. 2 options, Mal or the back line, and the back line won because that's the Discord. They love the defense.
A fair and kind ruler, LT.
Fair and kind. Where's my
I
crown?
appreciate the backline love. The defenders normally in those type of votes never get the love, and I appreciate that in the Discord. We appreciate defense in Chicago.
I still voted for Mal.
I don't remember who I voted for.
I still voted for Mal.
I probably did because I feel like in a 1-0 game, I feel like I voted for Mal. I can't remember.
Yeah. I knew the back line would win. I just wanted to give Mal love.
As always.
She keeps losing these players of the matches that she should win. So annoying.
You changed the rules. That's on you. You create all of this. Just let it be.
I just want to keep people happy. I'm not here for me. I'm here for the community. I'm not.
Okay.
I almost didn't vote. I was like, I don't want to skew anything. And then I did it anyway. But whatever. My vote didn't matter.
It's all good.
But
poor Mal out here fighting for her life to win player of the match in the Discord.
She got player of the match for the NWSL, so it doesn't matter. Like, she won it somewhere.
And the team. She won it for the team.
And the
as
team.
well,
That's what I meant.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Also, just speaking of the back line and the work that they did, like, shout out to Alyssa Nair for getting 2 clean sheets in a row now with this defense ahead of her. 2 in a row after none since the first match of the season. She must be feeling so good about that leading into the Olympics. Had some great saves, especially late in the match against Ordonez. I'm constantly impressed by her and everything that she's done for Chicago throughout her career.
I've got nothing to add. I think you always summarize perfectly because I mean, if anyone couldn't tell with like the Nair jersey in the background, if you're watching on the YouTube, of course, we all know about LT's love and appreciation for Nair. I think that going into this Olympics, that she's gonna have a few clean sheets. I'm gonna call it right now. I'm also manifesting it because I don't want us to give up any goals, and I also want us to win gold. So just gonna manifest on this show.
Love it. I love that manifesting. I'm all for that. Yeah, Nair is just awesome.
I may or may not be wearing underneath the kit my Nair 100 caps shirt. So
May or may not.
Nair is just, I don't know, that the moments that I see are the moments where there's pauses in the game where you see her walking up to Hannah Anderson and coaching her up a little bit or talking to Staub, and the positioning and the constant hearing her on the field, because the mics always pick her up because she's very loud. But that's what you want in your keeper. She's just a constant that Chicago has had for so long. And it's just so good to see that she's finally getting a lot of recognition across the board, probably because of all of the ridiculous saves that she's made for the national team in the last year. But she's also now bringing that to the Red Stars even more. And I just feel like she is really starting to peak, so to speak, at the right time here, right before the Olympics, as is Mal. And yeah, I'm with you, Grant. Let's get gold.
I
Going for
too
gold.
am on the gold train.
Aren't we all?
I do love the U.S. women's national team. I'm also a huge Australia fan. So, but
That's tough.
they have quite the group to get out of.
All of the
Yep.
groups are insane if you look at them. Insane. But that's what makes it fun.
It is what makes it fun.
World's best.
And just so everyone knows, the kit that I am wearing today is my Ella Stevens kit because I'm sad. Because that was such a cool assist in the match
Yes,
this
it
weekend.
was.
And I was like,
was-
I'm just gonna wear my Ella jersey on the podcast just so I can feel a little better about how much I appreciated her while she was here and while we had her.
Yeah. If only we would have
Long
played
live-
her in her proper position.
You mean the
If only.
midfield?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the midfield. Transition. I'm really glad that our defensive midfield has gotten a little bit better since B has sort of settled into that lineup. We had the opportunity, Grant and I, to interview B on the podcast. The episode went up last week, and she was a great interview. It was awesome talking to her, especially now that she's gotten some starts. So if you haven't seen that yet or listened to it, go check it out. 2 wins and a draw with her getting the starts, a loss without in between. I'm not saying that she's like this difference maker in a win or a loss, but like Carrie's seems more comfortable with her defensive responsibilities now that B is playing to the right of her, and Leilani is getting a little better playing up higher. I know Leilani loves to play defensive midfield. It's something that she said at the very beginning of the season. She was like, I'll play wherever they want me, but I like being a defensive midfielder. But I think she's playing better up higher and not having to rely so much on her being a defender that's just falling into the back line and more so just being help defense and tracking back. But I think B and her height and then Carrie just being so skilled defensively is making the midfield just a little better than it has been. I don't know how much we can actually like really judge that based on Houston's play and them still dominating possession in the midfield, but at least it wasn't as dominant as it has been against us.
Live, laugh, love, Hyde FC. Shout out to Hyde FC. Gotta get Red Stars Report merch that says Hyde FC. We're gonna trademark it. Gonna have our fancy logo like we have on our hats. And that's all I want to say about Hyde FC for today. Well, that might be a lie. We'll see.
Yeah, Hyde FC is real. I think that aerial prowess in the midfield is really great. I love it. I love B for her vision in the midfield. She's not instantly trying to get rid of the ball, which is really nice to see, especially from a rookie, to be able to hold the ball, find the open space, not just the initial open space, but the open space that will help us move the ball, progress the ball down the field. A few plays in the game really stuck out to me that she would turn and switch the fields up. And then they would move the ball and create opportunities. So that as when we're struggling with the midfield and then having a player jump in and then do that sort of thing, that is only going to benefit us moving forward. And I think that sort of vision that she has will get better, and also is why we're doing a little bit better. Our possession's still not great overall, but we're getting better. I can feel it.
Yeah, I think with more minutes, more starts, she'll grow into being the distributor in the defensive midfield. And as I said before, like Carey, incredible defender. So like her responsibility there is to do that, and it's helped immensely. And she's been this unsung hero for the Red Stars defensively for the last 2 seasons. But B is at least showing that she's capable of making the right decisions on the ball for most of the match, whether it's the usual back pass or actually like getting it out wide to Jenna like she did several times in this match, or switching the point of the attack like Liz had mentioned. Um, she did all those things on several occasions, and actually sort of held possession. She still had her rookie moments, as all of our rookies have certainly had, but I'm hopeful that our midfield will continue to grow as our younger players get more minutes.
I know there's the saying of defense wins championships, but I would like to say that instead of that, midfields win championships. I saw that line in the Discord, that's why I brought it up. I do read the Discord even though I don't say anything. I'm a silent scroller. The duels in the midfield, that's what happens. That's how we win. Shout out to the midfield. I'm glad that we have the rookie showing out as well.
You mentioned Hyde FC earlier, and I forgot that I was going to mention, because you and I had talked about it during the match, Grant, or at least I talked about it and you willingly listened. Uh, I noticed something, Liz, in this match that I don't know if we've been doing it since B has been starting, but on goal kicks and long free kicks, they take Carey and move her into the back line, and they take Leilani and move her into the defensive midfield, and then they move B and Hannah up high. We're both like 5'9", 5'10", and they move them higher up the field to just be those taller targets on those long kicks. And I thought it was really an interesting tactic that I only noticed on Saturday, but I'll definitely keep my eye on it in the future to see if it amounts to something.
Yeah, it's essentially like a corner kick tactic, except on a different type of play. And it's smart, especially if you're lacking in height, then move your height. And yeah, and they can win. I mean, they both win aerial duels more often than not, it feels like. And so it makes sense to do it. Yeah, I noticed it once or twice. I didn't notice that they were doing it all the time, but it's hard on the TV sometimes to notice things because
Yep.
the camera, sometimes you can't see everything all the time. But yeah, I also love it when Staub stays up top on certain plays after like throw-ins and things, and she's like, "I'm gonna get in the box. Why not?" So
Yeah,
I love that our defenders are willing to go in there and do that sort of thing.
yeah, it helps that you have a player like Carey Recaro, who is a former center back who you can trust to move into that position if Hannah's going up higher, if Sam's going up higher. To have someone like her being able to fill in on that defensive line, with you're not losing anything, because you have a skilled defender, who used to play the position and knows the position well, and is a veteran in this league. So it's definitely something that I feel like they did more often than not in this match, and I'm excited to see more of it. Like I said, if it amounts to something, that'll be really, really cool to see that tactic work out.
There's whispers of Hyde FC in Lauren Donaldson's ear. That's why it happened.
Just keeps throwing the height out there.
Yeah.
I mean, think about the people they've added to the starting lineup, as of late, with Hannah and B, and then now Allie's back from her illness, which brings a little more height to the forward line, which is good. And as for our starting forward line, Mal is getting back into the Mal that we all know. 7 goals this season, 4 in a row, as we said at the top of the show. Allie was back from her illness, which was scaring some of us, with her being on and off the injury report. And then Jenna had a better match than she's had in a while after starting the year off really hot. And Penelope was out due to the yellow card accumulation suspension. So that's why we had some fill-ins, but it's been hard to get a read on this front line this entire season without all of them being healthy at the same time and getting like a string of matches together with especially those 3, like Mal and Allie and Penelope. But the runs and the passes and, you know, actually getting some shots off in this match felt a little better than most matches. But against a struggling Houston side, I'm not going to put too much stock in talking up the offense that only scored 1 goal, a really difficult goal, even if they were up against Jane Campbell.
3
And
points
Paige
is 3
Nielsen.
points.
Paige Nielsen had a heck of a game for Houston as well. That's tough to go up against Paige and Jane. It's tough. But yeah, the front line, I'm very curious to see what they do in the Summer Cup with Mal being out. And then, but yeah, I think overall just getting Allie back healthy, glad to see her back. Illness is scary because you don't know what that means when somebody's in and out. And I'm just glad that she was back and played for a half. I hope that Fran Alonso is okay, by the way, just as a shout out to him, because that's also scary that he's missed a few matches being sick. So hopefully he's okay. But yeah, but Mal, man, Mal is back to Mal, and it's so good to see. That goal was phenomenal. I'm wanting to see a little bit more of early at the start of the season Jenna Bike. I want to see more of that. I feel like I haven't seen as much of that from her. Just a little bit more energy, a little bit more something going on. But yeah, and I'm hoping Schlegel gets back to full fitness and back to Ali Schlegel ways of wreaking havoc on the back line and in the box. So hopefully we'll see that after this break and in the Summer Cup.
I want to bring up the clip that was being shown around on Twitter where Mal Swanson beat 2 defenders. And as we watched that live, I was like, LT, did you see Paige Nielsen smiling as she got beat? Like that was hilarious. Like just to see vintage Mal was great, especially right before the Olympics. I'm so excited to see what she's gonna do. And I mean, time for gold again, but
Yeah, I
love it.
Watching that move live, her just making moves on those 2 players to get to wide open space. It was like one move, you're like, whoa. Another move, like, oh, you're like, there's Mal. She's at it again. Like, this is what we're all used to. And to not see it for a year was hard. And to see her back out there having fun is the most important thing. And now with her getting into form that she was before the World Cup, now leading into the Olympics, I think is so important. And I think it was Claire Watkins that said on Twitter that she's noticed that Mal has been favoring that, you know, surgical left foot more and more and more as the season goes on. So that's really nice to see that she's comfortable to just, you know, use the foot or the leg that was that she had the surgery on last year.
Yeah, the mental toll that injuries like that take on a person. Speaking as somebody who tore their ACL in high school, obviously not at the same level, but I know the mental toll that it takes on you because you're constantly thinking about it. You're like, oh no, what if it happens again? And I know Mal's talked about it too. And to get over that fear And now that she's actively using it more frequently than her right leg, like clearly that's not even a thought anymore, which is awesome. So she is firing on all cylinders at this point.
She might be the most informed player right now. That might be a hot take for some people, but I'm just gonna throw that out there.
She's getting there. She's
I think it's
certainly.
pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think once she gets at the national team level in this tournament and is playing like consistent minutes across high level competition, I think you'll see like absolute full form peak Mal Swanson, and that'll be really cool to see.
Watch out, Mexico and Costa Rica.
Yeah, that's coming up next week
Yep.
Getting close.
or this weekend. Yeah, that'll be good. The player that will probably most likely slot into the starting lineup when Mal is off and the club goes into this summer cup that we will keep repeating to dig it into everyone's brains that it's called the summer cup, will probably be Jamise Joseph. And she's made an impact at times throughout this season. She, I think, certainly made an impact coming into this match at half. And then Shea Groom came in. I thought she played well right off the bat for going up against her former club. Slowed down a little bit later in the match. Taylor Malum came in for a dead tired Tatum Milazzo, and then she had a nice play that led to a chance late in the match. Obviously not enough time to really get a read on her, and then Julia Bianchi came in and made some nice connective passes that it was really nice to see her get minutes again after a little bit of time. Lauren's subs are not always obvious, so it's kind of hard to know who he's favoring and who's actually getting consistent performance off the bench.
Nothing on the subs.
Not a Julia positive for Julia. Come on now.
I'm disappointed, Grant.
I was excited. I was super pumped because Julia just I want to see more minutes. I was worried not traveling with the team the week before. But for her to get subbed in, love it. I love just her calmness and confidence on the ball in the midfield. I like to see that. But yeah, Joseph is just, I've said it before and I will say it again. She just has a little bit of that it factor, and I love the energy. So it'll be fun to see her kind of swap in for Mal and to see what that looks like. So it'll be fun. The Summer Cup will be fun.
Summer Cup.
Summer Cup.
It's called the Summer Cup.
It's called something longer than that, but we're just going to call it the Summer Cup.
It's the Summer Cup, and I'm not calling it its full name because that's the government name, and I'm not doing that.
That's funny.
So another player that hit the field on during this match was Yuki Nagasato. Played back in Chicago for the first time since leaving in the offseason for Houston. I did love seeing her husband wearing Yuki's Red Stars kit after the match. Like, once a Red Star, always a Red Star. And I thought that was really cool to see.
You brought up the marking of Alyssa Nair on corners during the game, LT.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that was very fun to see her just chatting with Alyssa on those corners while she was marking her, and Alyssa spoke really highly of her in the post-match press conference.
And Yuki's one of my favorite teammates that I've ever had. So obviously, tremendous amount of respect for her game as well. Within that, obviously, we know the type of talent that she brings and the creativity that she brings. Not the first time I played against her. She was in Louisville, obviously, for a couple of years, but definitely prefer to have her on my side than against her.
So, Yuki fan favorite for a long time here in Chicago, and had done wonders for Chicago, especially during those Sam Kerr era. So, you know, she's missed. She's a big personality, a great teammate, and it was nice to see her again, even if she was wearing different colors.
Yeah, I mean,
Should've-
I was wondering if she was gonna go full 90. I'm like, this is peak Red Stars of Yuki going 90 minutes in the game.
Oh man, she's been playing well this year. It's really nice to see that from her, and I I hope that she does get to stay in this league a little longer. She's very well liked and very well loved by a lot of people, especially her teammates. So it was just cool to see her, and we'll see her again whenever we play Houston again.
She was giving some people the business too. She was getting a little physical, and
She
it
was
was,
bodying people up.
I mean,
it was
you do
wild.
you.
It was great. I mean, she is that. She is a physical player. That's nothing new. So it was cool to see, even though it was against us.
We all miss Yuki.
Yeah.
Long live the legend.
She is a legend. It's true. But yeah, so the Red Stars will be heading into this Olympic break, going to the Summer Cup. They're going into the break 7th on the table. They were 6th after this match, 7th now that North Carolina won their match against Louisville. So now the Red Stars are 5 points ahead of the playoff line, which is a really nice spot to be sitting, leading into a long break like this. But during this time, both Mal and Alyssa will be representing the USA in the Paris Olympics. They have a couple of matches leading up to the tournament on July 13th and 16th against Mexico and Costa Rica, respectively. Should be fun to watch a healthy, informed Mal Swanson and a dominant Alyssa Nair go for gold.
So excited. I cannot wait. That's the games are going to be fun. Good teams to kind of prep for the Olympics before they head off to Paris. And yeah, Mal and Alyssa are going to go into, I think they're going in the best form they could possibly be going into the Olympic break in. I can't think of a better situation for them to be. So I'm excited for them, and yeah, win gold.
I'm glad the games are at watchable hours. That's something that I just want to shout out because last Olympics was tough.
Shout
It
out
was
France for
tough.
being watchable in the US.
They put them at really solid times too. Like the 3 p.m. Eastern time, multiple kickoffs is really, really solid. So yeah, I'm excited. And then there's the one, I think it's 12, it's noon Eastern time kick. But yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be really good games and tough, but we'll see what happens.
I'm just glad that they're not missing any time like in a regular season to do this tournament. The post-match press conference led Lorne to making a joke about them not missing time and then saying like, well, when they do come back, like, well, we'll see if I play them.
They won't miss any game in the league, so that's good. Unless I tell them when they come back and they win, and I just say take a few days off. I can't tell this one to take a few days off. It's gonna be crazy.
So that was fun. That was nice to see. But I'm very excited. I love big international tournaments like this. I loved watching the World Cup. This will be the first Olympics that we've had the Discord for. And so everyone can go to our Discord and it's free and you can chat about Olympic soccer, any country, US or otherwise. We'll all be talking about everything outside of soccer in the Olympics as well. So that'll be awesome. We have a bunch of channels for all the popular sports that people love to watch, and then a channel for all the other sports that others like to watch, but no one voted for.
There's too many. There's too many. I will be watching everything. I pretty much changed my entire sleep schedule to match whatever country it is so I can watch. Again, since it's France, it's going to be during my workday a lot of it, but I have 2 screens at work. It's fine. My boss doesn't listen to this, so it's all good.
Awesome. Yeah, I love the Olympics. The Olympics is one of my favorite times of year, and
Mhm.
I love all the sports. I love watching anything that I can get on a screen, and I just have many screens and multi views going at many times of the day, and it's just it's such a cool thing to experience, even from home, and it's fun to represent, or to root for your country, and then other countries that people are big fans of. And I think it'll be really fun to discuss this entire tournament soccer wise as well with the community.
Lots of big games. That just the
This is
women's
the most
soccer tournament in
patriotic.
general.
I was gonna say this is the most patriotic I will ever be. Only during the Olympics and the World Cup. I will sing the anthem for when we get gold in all the swimming events. I go hard for swimming. Outside of soccer, like swimming is my top one. So maybe I'll be active in the Discord for like the first time ever,
Wow.
watching all the swimming events.
Check out the swimming channel to see Grant's
Maybe,
thoughts on the
maybe,
swimming.
maybe. But I'm just saying, yeah.
Katie Ledecky. I mean, come on now. Yeah, she's my girl. Love her. Love her.
Now, I hate to do this to you guys, but
Oh
I'm
no.
gonna switch up topics. Still a little bit about another country that isn't the US, but
Wow.
Canada. The big news that everyone wants to talk about. Julia Grosso, Chicago Red Star, signed with the Chicago Red Stars. As of this recording, we don't know the details of her contract, but if anyone had any questions, what the front office thinks this team needs a boost in, it's obviously the midfield. And what a midfielder they got.
Canada's
Shocked.
hero in the Olympics.
I don't want to
So
talk about that.
I get to add a flag to my little flag spots up there. So
Back again.
That'll be cool.
Another Canadian again on the Red Stars. Yeah, I'm excited to get a solid midfielder that's gonna attack, good passer, just great tactician in the middle of the field, is going to be confident on the ball. That's something that we definitely need. Vision is going to be great. I can't wait to see Grosso match up, like get with Mal and get that connection formed, because it's going to be fantastic. I can't even, I just am dreaming of it, and I can't wait to see it in person. It's going to take some time, but it's going to be fantastic.
We're very lucky to have a great midfield signing. I just think that all the people that were hating on the Red Stars, saying no one wants to play for the Red Stars, and then looking at what we did in the offseason, and then looking what we're doing now with the summer signing window coming up, like, come on, stop your hate.
We're
You
getting
can
there.
get in line for the fan club now, and of course join our Discord.
Yeah, if you're a Julia Grosso fan, hop on the Discord. Let us know more about Julia. We're excited. I did do a lot of research. And so Julia played for the University of Texas before going pro at Juventus a few years ago in Italy. She made her international debut when she was 17 with Canada. She also has Portuguese and Italian heritage in there, which is cool. You might recognize Julia from her winning Olympic gold, scoring that PK and penalties in the 2020 Olympics. Liz is not very happy about that, but at least she's a Red Star now, Liz. You may also remember her for winning the Golden Boot in the W Championship in 2022. She tied with a bunch of other players for that, but she scored it 3 goals, I think, with the least amount of minutes. So that's when she won the Golden Boot for that tournament. She also scored her first international goal during that tournament, and she doesn't see or hasn't seen a lot of minutes with Canada for several years, as I think people would like. So you can't blame them. She's the midfielders are pretty good for Canada, but when it comes to her in the midfield, she's in the 90th percentile across most offensive stats. Her career passing accuracy is 86%. That's what really sticks out to me. I looked at the stats of one match that she played for Juventus. I was looking through a lot of her stats through matches, but the one that caught my eye was she went 63 for 69 one match for a 91% passing accuracy. That is what we need in this midfield. And like I struggled to find a match where she had less than 80% if she didn't play more than 20 minutes.
It's insane. Like, that's exactly what we need, like, to a T. And that's what I do like about the front office. Everybody just wants, like you were saying, Grant, signings, but we want the right signings. This is the right move. This is what we need. This is exactly what we need. Somebody that's going to pass the ball, that's going to be attack minded, somebody that's going to be really good at possession. And also somebody that can take penalty kicks, as much as that pains me to say. But we need somebody else on this team that can take penalty kicks other than Mal, because sometimes Mal struggles with them for one reason or another. So it would be great to have a backup. We also have the great Alyssa Nair to take penalty kicks, but
so true. I don't know if we'd ever do that in the actual run of play and not just in PKs during a playoffs or something, but
I witnessed that once in a high school game, and the keeper missed it and then jogged back, and I was like screaming because it was the team I was cheering for. I was like yelling, "You need to get back immediately." I don't know why they did it, but anyway.
That's wild. But yeah, so Julia, she looks for goal a lot, which is nice. Her movement on the ball actually does remind me a little bit, but obviously not up to the level of Mal's movement. Like she just like when you watch her play, I watched a lot of her. I think I watched, I don't know, 4 or 5 of her matches that she got minutes in, just to get a little bit of an idea of the kind of player that she is, because I never really followed her prior to this. But she has like this like similar movements on the ball as Mal does. And just to remain in the Red Stars realm of things, for comparison, she does take a lot of like fake crosses and fake shots to get better positioning off of defenders, which is very similar to what we see with Sarah Griffith, like those feints that she does, which are always really fun to watch. Like Julia does those constantly. So she scored a lot of her goals by faking out defenders. So that was really cool to see. She's a left-footed player. All but 2 of her career goals are from her left foot. So hopefully she, hopefully she's playing more on that side than the right side, because that seems to be where she thrives. Her defense leaves a lot to be desired, which is why I think it was hard for her to see playing time with Canada in major tournaments up until this latest World Cup, where she did start all 3 of the matches. But with a coach like Lauren Donaldson, hopefully she sort of buys into his system and can learn from the players around her about, defending from the front to the back. That I think that'll be very beneficial to her.
I'm just glad we have a seasoned pro. I mean, she is young, but having that Olympic experience and World Cup experience and playing in Italy and having a really good college career, like, what more can you ask for at this point? Like, it's just nice to have, I'll put in quotes, a seasoned pro coming into our team in the middle of our season.
And young too, like so much more growth to be had. I think she's only 23 or 24.
She's 23. Yep.
Yeah, that's that's what this team seems to be leaning towards, is like they have their few veterans, especially even veterans that are young, like Sam or Mal. But like the younger we get, like with these players who are experienced but still young and are not even at the peak of their career yet, like that's awesome, and I'm really happy about this signing.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I wanted a midfielder. That's what I thought that we needed to sign at some point. It just makes sense. And people were saying we want a splashy signing in the Discord. This is pretty darn splashy in my opinion. And it's a name, like, I didn't know a ton about Julia Grosso, but it's a name that I know. And I've seen her play for Canada, unfortunately, in some circumstances. But yeah, she's gonna be really good for us. And I think to have that young veteran now with a Staub, a Grosso, and a Mao on each line is going to be so beneficial to the team moving forward. It just makes me so happy. This is gonna be great. I love this signing. This is right up there to me with the Sam Staub signing. Like, this is that big because it's a huge get for us, especially getting somebody from overseas to come over to the NWSL, which is also really good just for the league in general.
Like I mentioned, I watched a lot of film.
We're not surprised.
So after the initial reports had come out from Italy that she was coming here, and then CBS confirmed the reports, and I'm just excited to have someone who's like a true connector, a great passer, someone who's just like really good on and off the ball, knows where she needs to be, the spaces that she needs to fill to help the forward line. I don't think that this moves Chicago into being like one of the best teams in the league, but I think it will solidify their playoff team hopes.
Agreed. I think that if they don't make the playoffs with this signing, it'll be a disappointment. I'm not saying they might go far in the playoffs, but I think not making the playoffs at this point would be a disappointment.
Need to start the streak over again.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a great playoff streak that unfortunately came to an end last season. But obviously you don't make a move like this and not start her. So someone's got to leave this lineup. And I don't know if it's going to be, is it going to be B and they move Leilani back to the defensive midfield? Is it going to be Leilani? Is it going to be Ali? Like, those are really the only players that are starting right now that fill the Julia Grosso area that I could see, because they're not gonna move Carey out of the midfield. That's not happening, especially with Grosso's lack of defensive prowess that Carey has. But I think anyone else is kind of fair game when it comes to players who have played in the attacking midfield.
Yeah. I looked up how tall Julia Grosso was, and she's 5'7", so she's not height FC. So I kind of want B to be out there still.
Oh, yeah, this has nothing to do with what I want. But it definitely puts a lot in question, because like that is a position that she plays, the attacking midfield role that players with the Red Stars have like filled. Leilani's played there, Ali's played there. Like it's a position that, like, when Ali's not playing there, she's playing striker. When we're in a different formation, there's, a completely different set of players that are in the, entire midfield, left midfield, right midfield, two center midfielders. So like there are only 11 spots, and Julia Grosso is going to fill one, and someone who's usually playing is not going to be playing in the starting lineup anymore. And I am struggling to figure out who it'll be, but it's got to be someone.
Yeah, I'm not gonna predict. I'm not even gonna try and think about it because I don't want to think about it. So we'll wait and see what Lauren decides.
Maybe he'll change formations into something completely different, that not completely different, but different but than what they were doing. And who knows? I mean, obviously somebody still has, like, there's still 11 spots and somebody still has to be there, but I'll be curious if they do change at all their formation with a player like Grosso, or if she'll just plug in to
Yeah.
an already existing position. That'll be interesting because the center of the field for the Red Stars is very, very strong, just from all the lines. So it will be, I wonder if we will stay as narrow as we have been as a team, because I feel like we don't use the width as much. So I wonder with a player like Grosso if we'll continue to stay super narrow. But maybe we won't. We'll see.
Yeah. Let us know what your thoughts are on the Julia Grosso signing. I think pretty much everybody's very excited about it. I bought a flag to add to my collection because of it. I didn't have these flags when PSG was here, so clearly I just went out and bought this one. But yeah, it's huge signing. This team lately has been getting better. It's great to see. I love that we get to come on here and talk about wins. I love that we get to come on here and talk about,
Yay.
and then we get to talk about player signings. It's just, I love this team. I love this club. It's just, it's important to me that this community is happy, and it's good that wins and player signings makes them happy, and then we get to come on here and be happy with them. So I very much enjoy that. But with that, we'll wrap things up for this week. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Make sure that you're subscribed to us on all those platforms to know when our next episodes go up. Make sure that you're following us at Red Stars Report on all of our social media channels to keep up with the latest news between the episodes. And don't forget to join our free Discord with the link in the description, or if you're watching on YouTube, there is a QR code on the bottom of your screen. And, next time we'll talk about the U.S. Women's National Team and their matches that are Saturday against Mexico. As, they move into the Olympics. We'll preview Chicago's upcoming matches in the Summer Cup. And we'll probably recap a little bit of the first half of the NWSL season. I think that'll be really fun to sort of go over that and see how the team's been really doing overall. But with that, we'll see you next week for another Red Stars Report.